Look at this argument in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I might not even be valid in the way you're cashing it out because I don't think Godel would cash that out in that way. But are you using it in like the standard way, or is it some like revised version?
It's kind of revised. I got it from Moro. You know who Moro is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it from Moro. It's kind of revised.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Define positive properties. Yeah, exactly. And then he defines God in terms of those positive. Yeah, so it's fine. Yeah, it's still valid. Because God is just defined as the positive properties. So saying God is identical to himself is fine.
Okay. Well, okay. So you are giving a revised version of the argument?
Yeah, hold on.
What kind of identity relation is obtaining there, gang?
Holy, what's up, Kayj?
Okay, I'm sorry, I run out of names.
Relaxed realism. Holy, relaxed realism. Are you a relaxed realist now? Did Derek Parfit get to you?
I've been a relaxed realist for almost 2.5 years.
Oh, that's phenomenal. I'm so proud of you. Good job. That's good.
What are you doing muddling about with these nasty Thomas, Saucy?
I'm bored, bro. And I wanted to just come up here and talk about existence. But then
Existence is overrated.
So now I just have to do this MOA thing. I
All
haven't looked at
right,
this argument fucking...
All right, modern Nietzsche, calm down.
You know, genealogy of morals type shit.
All right, cool. So,
the poor man hates the rich man.
All right, here we go. This is the full argument. So some properties are positive for any property. Either it or its negation is positive, but not both. If a property is positive, blah 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 blah.
Well, the first part doesn't even matter because all properties are positive.
Yeah, exactly. The deprivation of a property would be what we call a negative property, but I think the only existing properties are positive ones. Well, exactly, it wouldn't be a property.
Yeah. So okay. Well, then
I don't
know.
That's what we call negative property.
You can just get rid of the whole like positive and negative property stuff. You can just say like.
I think that's better for understanding. So I think it's chill.
No, that definitely makes it like more confused. Like especially in the future, like you can get rid of that. So that just makes it more confused. Just say like there is properties and there isn't properties.
Nah, I'm gonna stick with this. I like this one more.
I mean, yeah, be more. Yeah, sure.
I don't think it confuses people that much. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it's fine. Like it might not like confuse people, but there's just no reason to like add all that extra shit. I mean, yeah, like so far as it's kind of like gibberish. But
shit, gang. When I be given predicate relations. A predicate is just a sentence that picks out a property of an object. But if the only types in a property, as understood, is something that belongs to an object, but if the sort of deprivation of properties aren't properties, then what do sentences like X action is bad, where is bad as a predicate? It can't be a predicate because bad isn't some property that belongs to the action.
Kayj, he's saying he's like using bad just means like completely different sense of properties.
Yeah, bad just so like when someone says an action is bad, they just mean the action is not good, and that's the proper predicate.
Yeah, but like in this argument, he says like a property is something like God's like existence standard.
I'm very curious. Does not good mean it's impermissible that, it's forbidden that, or
Oh yeah,
it's
it means it's
in
impermissible. So
correspondence
like,
with some
if you do
axiology?
something that's not good, then you've done a morally impermissible thing.
It's morally impermissible or it's morally forbidden?
Bro, I do not know the difference between impermissible and forbidden, bro. You're gonna have to.
To say it's impermissible is like, you might think of those like legal violations, like, oh, I jaywalk. It's impermissible that I jaywalk. Um, and you might think of deontic things that are forbidden as like violating somebody's rights. Like it's forbidden that I take away somebody's right to life. Right?
Yeah,
Those are deontic
I would say
usages
it's
of
a
the
mixture. So
words.
like, depending on the action that's not good, it would either be forbidden or immoral or
How would I
impermissible.
know that?
Sorry. You would know that
Like if
by
you
figuring
say
out what the action
jaywalking
is.
is not good, well, if you said
Hmm.
jaywalking is not good, how am I supposed to interpret that?
Oh, okay. Well, we could say like, if the action is impermissible, I say jaywalking is not good. But if the action is forbidden, then I say, well, killing someone is very not good.
But not good still doesn't pick out either one.
Well, that's something you ought not do. No, I mean, in both instances now, how bad it is would depend on the action. And to communicate that to you, I would just add the word very in front of it. Or really. Like,
Okay,
you really
so,
ought not do this thing. It's really bad if you do
but
this.
then what do we think about cases where impermissible might be with respect to legal language, but the very might just pick out some unfavorable consequence for that particular agent? Like it's very impermissible that you listen to the corporate procedures. And what I mean by that is if you don't follow them, you'll lose your job. Clearly, there, I don't mean it's forbidden in the sense that it's forbidden that you unalive somebody. The very there doesn't do much to pick out any. It could pick out a variety of things.
Yeah, so like in that instance, I would just say, what you ought to do there is just say, look, if you do this, I'm going to fire you. I mean, that's what I would say
Okay,
personally.
but that's not informed by that's the problem is that the use of language is so vague that it has to be upheld by secondary and tertiary
How
commitments
is it?
just to make the
How is it
sentence
any less
intelligible.
vague than the word bad?
Because most people in contemporary applied ethics don't use axiological language like that. They say either X is impermissible or X is forbidden. They use deontic
Oh,
language.
yeah. I mean, I guess we could substitute that and use that language instead. But I'm more concerned with the word bad and a replacement for that word. So,
Okay, we can take the axiological. Okay, so not good means bad.
yeah, we could say not good means bad. Yeah, and we could pick
But the,
something else out. So, like, we could actually just say something that's not good is something that's impermissible, and then something that's forbidden. That's something that's sinful. See, there we go. We could do something like that. Now we're using the deontic language. So not good is impermissible,
okay,
and forbidden is sinful. There we go.
does forbidden entail impermissible?
Well, yeah, if something's forbidden, it's also impermissible, I'd assume.
Okay, so I can do something that's impermissible and it's not sinful.
You can do something that's impermissible and it's not sinful. Yeah.
Okay, how would I know if I'm levying the accurate charge between something being sinful and something being bad?
There we go. Now, the way that you would determine that is by reading this great book. It's called the Bible. And in there, all the sins are outlined. And if you have any questions about the interpretation of the
All the
Bible, make sure it's
sins?
clear. All of them, yes. And all the sins that you're curious about, all of those are properly interpreted by the church, specifically the
Okay,
Orthodox
well
or Catholic Church.
worse. Now we have a worse issue.
And
Because it's not
how's
moral
this an issue?
reasons that inform. Because it's not moral reasoning that informs judgment. It's this sort of legal guidebook that
Yeah.
informs judgment, which is
No, it
divorced
is
from
moral
any like.
reasoning that informs judgment. But I mean, like, look, let's play this game for a second. Let's say it wasn't moral reason that informed judgment. It was this guidebook.
Yeah,
What would the issue with that be?
yeah.
Because the guidebook
Well,
is
the
bad.
big issue is that generalism is false about moral principles. So that's the first issue we have to deal with.
Okay,
Generalism
generalism.
And just so we understand the claim, that generalism is saying that there are these codified moral principles that are sort of pivotal to our moral judgments. That's just so clearly false. The claim that I'm going to say that says this Bible stuff, even if you accept it as containing moral reasons and outlining every possible applied ethical dilemma, or at least giving you such a guide that would allow you to navigate modern and future applied dilemmas. The issue is that what applies for one case might not always count in favor with the same valence in another. You might take an approach like Kant, where you're a strong generalist and think that some fact in one case might count in favor in any case. Like the Bible wants to say with the Ten Commandments, like you should not lie, where lying has this type of wrongness.
The Ten Commandments doesn't say you shall not lie, to be clear.
Doesn't say thou shalt not lie, or thou shalt not deceive your neighbor or something along those lines.
That says thou shalt not bear false witness, and the interpretation of that is different than how a lot of atheists interpret it, but I don't think generalism, at least to my understanding of how it works, is false. It seems to be fairly true. Like reasons. My understanding is just very simply that reasons are governed by general rules.
That's clearly false.
Wait, you think that's clear? This is a false understanding of generalism, or you think that generalism?
No, I think that's not divorced from what I said. Like when you're committed to, when you say that, is that a fact in one case that counts in favor one way? It will always have that same direction in any case. Like lying is wrong.
I think generalism. To say generalism is false is kind of. I think that's kind of absurd, to be frank. But you could say that
at the end of this, you will see how your Bible are false. No, I think
I think generalism being false.
I think our hair was wrong. I think that Kiever and Ridge are wrong.
I think generalism being false has to do mostly with, the principles, right, or the general rules.
Well, let's take
your reasons.
Let's go from the top down. Let's go from the strongest case of generalism to then the most modified contemporary form of generalism.
Why don't we just go with mine? Why don't we just do that?
Okay, and your generalism is like saying you're saying that a moral principle is useful to our moral calculus?
No, I'm saying reasons are governed by general rules. Now, what I think those general rules are, I think that's what the discussion really is. But if you think
I think that?
Pardon?
Why would I think that reasons are governed by general moral principles?
Oh, it seems to be the case to me. That's why I think that. Why you would think that is probably.
Okay, well, maybe let's investigate why you think that.
That's why you would think that. I just told you why I think that. I think that because it seems to be the case.
Okay, well, suppose we just skip over the boring humor epistemological question. Let's say we investigate a contemporary case. Let's say we take a set of principles, like maybe something like, we could take something like, who's somebody you'd know in the abortion space? That one guy, I forget his fucking name, with the 7 prima facie duties. You might be real familiar with him, especially because a lot of his stuff.
I have no idea who that is. 7 prima facie duties?
Yeah, his name was W.D. Ross, William something Ross.
What on earth does that mean? What are the 7 prima facie duties?
There are 7 general moral principles that he uses to calculate what he should do given some applied ethical dilemma.
Never met that guy a day in my life.
Well, it's used a lot in FLO debates to make an invalid inference.
FLO is false, so I don't care.
But look, the point is that let's just take his 7. They're vague heuristics and horrible at that, but they're sort of the view that you're talking about. Okay, let's say we take a contemporary issue, like let's talk about what's a really good issue? Let's just talk about we'll use abortion as a case because you're familiar. Suppose that you look at the 7 prima facie duties of honor, integrity, justice, blah 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 blah. 7 really vague heuristics.
Yeah. Honor, duty, justice, fucking gay, but sure.
Right, but we'll just look first. On your view, can there exist a defeated reason with respect to these general principles?
What do you mean by a defeated reason?
Yeah, presumably by reason, on this view of yours, you just mean something that is consistent with one of your general principles, a fact that counts, or that a
Yeah.
fact that
Well, I understand it. What
coheres
is
with
a
the
defeated
principle.
reason? I don't know what a defeated reason is.
A defeated reason is a reason that's weight is overturned by another reason, or a set of reasons at that.
Can there be defeated reasons?
Yeah.
You give an example?
On your view, if we look at the Anne Frank case, where honesty is a virtue of yours, that you, or like a general moral principle, like you should be honest is
I
a
don't.
general
Yeah, I don't
principle.
think that honesty is a general moral principle, but
Well, let's just take a general moral principle that's like widely uncontroversial.
yeah. So like on the Christian view, one of those is going to be love, and we could just throw another one in there. We could throw a love. Let's do love and justice. Let's do those two.
Okay. Suppose that your friend committed a crime, right?
Huh?
And in committing this crime, he did it though to support his disabled daughter to go to school, right? So maybe he laundered money. Well, on the one
Uh-huh.
hand, he did it for love, so that might be a reason on your view to not report him to the authorities. But justice would dictate that he should be held up to the court standards. So that's
I'm
a
not
reason that
talking
counts in
about.
favor.
I'm not talking about justice in the legal sense. I actually think what he did is just, and I think what would be just for him is to not report him to the police. Because
Now,
I think justice is
what's
being given. I think justice is being given what you're owed. And if you steal
well,
something to
that's
help your like dying disabled daughter, I don't think you're owed being reported to the
something
police.
being given. Okay, how does that inform any? Like that's like a vague cookie cutter, like bumper sticker level. That's like Uguay when Shifu asks him, "What should I do, master?" And he goes, "You'll find it within yourself to know." Like that's like virtue ethics when they say a virtuous man would know what to do. It's like, thanks. What the fuck am I supposed to do now?
Are you talking about what I said justice is being given what you're owed?
Yeah, like how does like one, I'd have to know what it is this person is owed, and two, I'd have to know what this person is
Yeah.
given, which I wouldn't get.
No,
Most people
exactly.
don't
Yeah, I
know
mean,
that.
how do you know? Well, how do you know what's just? I mean, you could deduce what's
No.
just.
How do I know? In order to know what's just, I have to know what's owed to them and what
Yeah,
they were
exactly.
given.
Yeah, and how you figure out what's owed to them is through deduction. That's obvious.
I just
Or
never.
induction or abduction. I mean, all of them are fine.
I just okay. Name me any applied dilemma where that's given to somebody,
Any applied dilemma where what's given to somebody?
where those two things are given to, or even given somewhat insofar as you could infer them.
Or what's given to someone? Love and justice?
No, the justice is what's owed to them and by what they were given. So in order to know what's just, you have to know the
I don't
two.
know what the by what they're given is doing. I don't know what that means. I just think that
That's
justice
what
is
you
being
said.
yeah, I think justice is being given what you're owed. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, how would I know what it is that's owed?
Yeah, through deduction. Or induction or abduction. All of them are fine.
Yeah, but okay, so I have to make a primary inference to what this person is owed, and then a secondary inference on what I should do. Let's just grant the first inference. Let's say I know what they're owed. How does that inform what I should do?
Yeah, you should give them what they're owed. That's how it informs what you should do.
Wait, but
If you
how
want to
does
be just, I mean, if you don't want to be just, then you shouldn't give them what they're owed. But if
no,
you
no.
want to
I'm
be just,
saying that suppose that you grant this ridiculous chain of inferences, and it's ridiculous
what is
because
when you say ridiculous? What do you mean there? I think it's a very proprietary usage of the term.
I mean that from the rip, in order to know what I should do from this generalist moral principle, the first thing I have to do is abandon, right, this general principle and start inquiring about the facts of the
Wait,
case.
no one said you're abandoning the general principle. You're not
Yeah, I have to
abandoning
find
the
out what
general
he's
principle.
owed. I have to find out
No,
what
no,
this
yeah, wait,
specific person is owed.
and in finding out what he's owed, you're embodying the virtue of justice. That's not
No.
abandoning
Hold
the
on. I want to
principle.
be
That's
very clear.
embodying the principle.
I want to be very clear here. After you invoke this principle, you're then embarking on this empirical inquiry onto what this man is owed. That's
Exactly.
going to be case dependent. That might be case by
Of
case
course,
different.
of course, it's going to be case dependent. The general principle is justice. That's the
So
general
then
rule
what's the
which
general
governs our
principle
reasons.
work doing there? It's not doing any work. It looks bleak. It's
Okay.
not doing
What do you mean
anything.
when you say it's not doing any work? What does that mean?
I mean, the second you look at the principle, you turn away from it to analyze the case
No,
specifically.
we don't. No. When we look at the principle, we don't turn away from it to analyze the case specifically. We use it to analyze the case specifically. We use our
But you're
principles
still
to govern.
analyzing the case
Just
specifically,
hold on.
right?
Just hold on. We use the principles to govern our actions with respect to certain states of affairs,
No, you
given their
don't.
context. Yes,
You
we
use
do.
what? No, because remember,
Wait.
I just asked you, Saucy. How does that
Yes.
inform me on what I should do? And you should give him what he's owed, meaning that
Yes.
what I should do turns on the specific inquiry of this person.
Exactly. Yes.
Wait, could I
That's
ask
just
just a clarifying
particularism.
question?
That's
Do
not
you-
particularism. No, it's not.
Yeah,
Do you
because
think
listen,
we have-
Saucy, this is the just a second, I promise.
Okay.
This is the thesis of particularism, that moral reasons are context dependent. And you just verbatim said that what I should do, or the reason that informs my behavior, comes from the result of an empirical inquiry that's case by case.
No. The reason that informs your behavior is the general principles. Like the reason why you should behave the way you do is because of the general principle of
There's
justice.
a step in between, Saucy. There's a step in between what I should do and the general principle, and that's the empirical inquiry. That's the fact it turns on.
No shit, duh.
So
You're
then,
inquiring. Well, like no. Just to be clear, though, you're
Yeah.
inquiring about how you should be just.
No, I'm not
That's-
inquiring how I should be just. I'm inquiring how I should act. Your response to the generalist is, here's this really useful
The
moral...
way in which you're just is an action, duh. Like, of course,
No,
that's how you should act.
no. I'm asking how in which I should act, right? And then you as a generalist respond with, here's a set of general principles that should guide your behavior. And then the
Yes.
first principle you've laid out requires that I look into this case specifically, and from my results
Wait, no.
case...
That's not the principle. The principle is justice. So you should act just, right? That's the thing you should do.
Right, but
You should
by
act
just
justly.
you mean
Now,
give
how you
to them
act
what is
justly,
owed.
like the way in which you act just, is dependent on the circumstances. But you should act just regardless of the circumstance you're in. That's why it's not particularism.
Wait, no, hold on. I just want to be clear. Using this general moral principle, right, of justice, which means give to them what they're owed, people can be
Yeah.
owed different things on a case-by-case basis, correct?
Duh.
Okay, and how I would know that is I'd turn from the principle and do an inquiry on what they're owed,
No,
correct?
you wouldn't turn from the principle. No.
No, I
You
said
would
turn
use-
on
no,
the
no.
principle.
What do you mean by turn on the principle?
I mean, I take that principle and then inquire onto what this person is owed.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Okay, and doing that would look like what? Would I have to ask about certain facts about the situation or facts about them?
Obviously, yeah. Well, not facts
Okay.
about facts about them. Maybe facts about them too. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's just particularism.
But it's not particularism.
Yeah, because the things turning
Because
your behavior
in
is what they're owed,
particularism-
and that's case by case, and that's
In
context sensitive.
particularism, but no. In particularism, you're not governed by general moral principles.
That's true, and neither is your actions. It's governed by what this person is owed, and that's case by case.
Wait,
which is
no. Wait.
dependent
But
on the facts of the
that's
matter.
the issue, though, right? Because like what this person is owed, that is a general principle. The general principle.
No,
is
it's not. It's
justice.
case by case. You just
No,
affirmed
wait,
that
no.
each
You're-
case, this person's
In
going to have different
in each
facts.
case, you're supposed to act just. But what should govern your actions in each case is the virtue of
Right, but
justice.
that's just a weak
That's
top.
why
Look,
it's a
this is what
general
you've
principle.
done. You've said here, and tell me if any point is wrong. And you say, look, there's this general principle, and it's called justice. And I said,
Yeah.
what is that? You say, give to people what they're owed. Okay,
Mhm.
great. From that act, that sort of theorem you have here, this working idea, I'm then supposed to look at that, go, got it. Let's investigate this case A, case B, case C, case D, where I investigate each perpetrator individually about the facts of the situation with the applied ethical dilemma, as well as maybe facts about them. From those facts, once I have those facts, I should know what to do, which is to say that the inference that the answer to how should I act is depends on the case.
No. The answer to how you should act is justified. You should act, or not justified. I mean, you should act in a just manner. That's the answer.
And
to how
that's
you should
case
act.
by case, correct?
What do you mean that's case by case? No. In every case, you should act just.
No. I mean, the way in which I act, the reasons that generate, the reasons that count in favor of my action.
The way in which you act just is dependent on each individual case.
No, that's not
But
the
in each
question. I'm
case, you should
asking,
act just.
no, I said the moral reasons that count in favor of my behavior are the facts of the case and the facts of the person.
No. It's governed. No.
Then what?
The way you should act
Rel,
is just.
No.
He's saying that you can't act just until you have the case by case details. That's why it's particular.
I want to be clear here. Is it not case A and
No,
case B?
I agree
If
with
it
you.
ca-
You're making
No, I know,
sense.
but in case A, if I discover that this person is a serial liar and that this person was a multi-billionaire who screwed over his corporation, right? That would obviously tell me that I shouldn't act one way, and that's the fact I'm turning on. But in case B, right, if I'm found to, maybe this single mom, right, is working her hardest, making an honest living, that's going to inform me to act a completely different way, which is to say the reasons, right, because presumably we want to be rational.
That's the issue. You're not acting in a different way. You're doing different
I'm
things.
acting with a different. I'm acting with.
It's like
I'm acting with a different direction. Absolutely.
Well, no, hold on. In the same way, actually, I guess there's not. Well, maybe the sports analogy would go over your head, but just kind of think of it like this. In each scenario, you're acting just, as in you're giving to each of these people what they're owed. Now, they're owed different things, so the thing you're giving them is different. But in both scenarios, you're still acting just.
Yeah,
in the same way, we can say something like...
That's a concession on particularism, because the particularist thesis is that moral reasons are context dependent, meaning the way in which I act...
The moral reasons are not context dependent. No.
Okay, I just want to hear you say this. You have this principle about justice, right? Giving to people what they're owed. But in order to follow this principle, I need to then inquire about every case individually, correct?
To properly apply the principle? Yeah.
No, to properly apply it, follow it, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, to properly apply the principle, yeah, you need to know the particulars.
Then this isn't codifiability. It's not codified if I have to look at every single case individually.
Wait, what do you mean it's not codified?
It's not a general principle that I can just slap on to the face of every case without having to inquire. It's a general principle
that you can slap on everything. You can look at every situation.
Let me just finish this.
You'll understand. Before knowing any of the particulars of any case, you can say that in every single one of these cases, you ought act just.
That doesn't inform me on what I should do.
That's irrelevant because it's the principle. It's the principle that governs your actions.
That's the question at hand. A good moral theory.
The question at hand is if there's a principle that should govern your actions. The answer is yes.
No. A good moral theory informs you on how you should act. You saying this cookie cutter bumper sticker doesn't inform me on how I should act.
It does inform you of how you should act. You should act just.
That's literally not how informing me. That's literally like saying a virtuous person would know what to do.
But what is just depends on
I don't think that a virtuous person would know
what he's saying. You've conceded that just depends on the particulars.
Like you even said that I need to inquire about every case individually.
That's a misunderstanding of what
No, it's not, because you said
it is a misunderstanding of what I said.
Okay, let's say
what it means to be just doesn't depend on the particulars. What it means to be just.
You literally said
you did say that. You did say that.
What it means to be just is to give them what they're owed.
Question.
Now, what they're owed depends on the particulars.
This is consequentialism. This is not justice, because that's something you could only apply retrospectively, not prospectively.
Well, I'm not saying that, but I want to point this out. I want to point this out, Saucy. You did say that the facts that inform my behavior are going to be the things discovered after this empirical inquiry onto what the person is owed. And you said...
Wait, just be clear. The facts that inform your behavior... No. The facts that inform your behavior are the general moral principles. That's why it's generalism.
That's
just to be
not
clear.
Intelligible at all.
Just hold on. The fact that informs your behavior is the moral principle of justice. That's the thing that's going to inform your behavior.
Right. And okay, I just want to get on. I just want to say this.
Just be clear.
Okay.
The way in which you carry out this act, right? The way in which you are just, the way in which you embody the virtue of justice, does depend on the particulars of the case, because each individual person is owed a different thing.
Wait, by carry out, do you mean the way in which I act?
The way in which you act, yeah. The way in which you act.
So the way in which I act is informed by the particulars.
No. Because the way you're acting,
informed.
I want to be clear here. Maybe there's like a better way to separate this. The way you act is just. Okay, so you're supposed to be acting just. You want to act justly. Now, what informs you acting justly? What fact that explains that is the general moral principle of justice. Now, the way
Wait! I'm supposed to act justly, and the way that informs that. Can we test that really quickly?
Sure.
Okay, how would I solve the trolley problem if all I have to go on is I need to act justly, and the way in which I act justly is adhering to the general principle of being just? How do I act? What do I do? Do I pull it? Do I leave it? Let it go?
Okay, great. So the way that you figure out how to act in this instance, right? Now that you know you're supposed to act justly, I'm assuming you know what justice is here. It's being given what you're owed.
Right, but you
Okay,
don't
great.
want to say that
What you
each.
do? Then
Wait,
what
wait,
you
wait, wait,
do?
wait, wait.
Oh
You
my
don't
God.
want to say, because I asked you this. You said no. I'm not to inquire about the particulars of the case in order to find out how I act.
Wait, no,
That's not
I
what
never
I'm to
said that. No,
do.
you are to inquire about the particulars of the case, not to inform how you act, but to inform how you are just.
Right, but that's just to say, and how I'm just is to inform my behavior.
Yes, to inform what you do. Yeah, it's to
Okay, if I
inform
take
how you
away the
give them what they're owed.
particulars, do I still have a way to know what I'm doing?
Again, so that's
You take away
retrospective,
the
though.
No, you don't have a way to. You don't have a way to know
Yeah,
what you're doing if you
that's a
don't have any
concession.
information.
Because you're saying
Oh my God, no,
there
it's
that the thing,
not.
the pivotal.
Kayj,
You're,
that's not what's in question.
Okay, Chris. This is what I'm saying by when I says
You just
retrospective.
called
Okay,
me Chris.
I,
Can I finish
Christ,
talking to
sorry,
Kayj?
Chris Smith. Yeah, just give me a second because I'm listening and I've been listening
Oh
for
my
a while and
God,
I just
bro.
want to ask a clarifying question. So let's say the trolley problem. Let's go with that, right? So for the trolley problem, if there are 5 people and it's generally just to save the most people, right? Let's just say we take that for granted. But then you find out that the 5 people are on death row because they're murderers and the other person's a doctor, right? That's retrospective. That's you changing your information, which would change your frame of justice. And it's based on the particular case.
What does it mean to change the frame of justice? I don't know what that means.
What you do not understand? Would you
No,
accept that it's generally just to save more people than less people?
no, I don't even think justice works in that way. No, I think justice is giving each individual person what they're owed.
This is then you're conceding
okay,
the
how do we not see
particularism.
this? Look,
Okay.
can I, without inquiring about any facts about a specific case, and not inquiring about anything further than what you're given in a traditional trolley problem, would you be able to inform your behavior?
Yeah, you'd be able to inform your behavior.
Okay, so how do I, just from the principle of justice, which is giving to the people what they're owed, do I pull the lever? Do I not pull the lever? Which one do I do?
It depends on the people.
It depends on so that's to say that it depends about the facts of the situation.
No shit, Kayj. I've been saying this the entire
That's
time.
particularism.
No, it's
That's particular.
not.
That's literally the thesis of moral reasons being context dependent.
It is not. The moral reasons are not context dependent. They are dependent on a general principle, and this is the issue. The general principle of justice requires context. You need context to be just.
That's the problem. That's why I'm saying the principle is useless. That's the exact problem.
How is that a problem?
Because you can just do away with it. You don't need the principle in order to inquire about the facts of the case.
That's besides.
You could just be a consequentialist. You could just have any normative theory.
I don't care if you think you could do away with it. Do you agree that it's a general principle still? Because that's the only point of contention.
No, remember the point is that my original point.
Fuck me, dude. Fuck me.
My original point was that moral principles are useless. Not that they don't exist, it's that they're useless.
No. You said verbatim, generalism is false.
Yes, that's to say that moral principles are not useful to moral calculus. They're useless.
That's not. Maybe we were just talking past each other the entire time. I thought that you had or not even reasons. I thought that you had reason to believe that general moral principles could not be reasons to act in a certain way. So unless if you don't, so I just want to be clear. If you don't think that's the case, then I don't care. You could say they're useless. Okay, I think they're useful. If you think they're useless,
that's just to say they're not reasons.
What?
They're not reasons to act in any useful way.
What?
In any way at all.
What?
Here, I'll make it make sense. I'll make it make sense. The same way that if I'm walking through New York City and I find a spider web that's like tangled to my arm as I walk through a door, that's reason to think Spider-Man exists. But it's such a useless reason that it's not even worth mentioning on the deliberation on whether or not Spider-Man is real. I don't even accept that that's
reason to believe Spider-Man exists. It's just not reason to believe Spider-Man exists.
Well, the fact that a spider web is present in New York City raises the probability, even trivially.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
It does. It's not more expected.
Consistent and expected.
It's not more expected on one hypothesis.
If Spider-Man existed, there would be spider webs in New York City.
And if Spider-Man didn't exist, there would be spider webs in New York City. It's not more expected on one hypothesis as opposed to
I'm
another.
not saying it's more expected. I'm just saying it's a expected fact, even as trivial as it is.
What? Wait, how? An expected fact. So you think
Obviously,
an
it counts
expected
far more
fact
in
raises?
favor.
Or I want to be. So you think an expected fact raises probability?
That's what it means to be probability raising, is that there is an expected
That's
fact.
not what I understand probability raising to be, or what it means to be probability raising. But
Okay, well, then I just say you're confused, but I want to be
I
very
think
clear
it's
here.
a more
Even
expected
by
fact.
your own,
But it's besides
even
the
by
point.
your own omission, the general principle is useless, because the second you look
The
at
general
it, you have to
principle
turn
is not
away.
useless. It's very useful.
The
Because it
second you
governs
turn
your
away,
actions. It informs you.
no,
It allows
it
you to
doesn't.
understand. It allows you to know that in every context, in every situation, in every state of affairs, you ought give the person what they're owed. That's why it's useful.
Wait, that's a no. I'm not talking about Look, when we're talking about moral principles, I'm not talking about like some type of normative theory about what you should do indexed to these principles. I'm talking about what even counts as a reason. And you're presumably saying, if you're a generalist, something to the effect of that these general moral principles are useful to our moral deliberations about the things that even count as reason,
Yes, they're
such that we
useful
can
to our moral
evaluate them normatively.
deliberations. Of course, they're
Right,
useful
but
to our
you
moral,
don't
moral
think,
deliberations.
that what informs the behavior. You said that the second I look at that principle in the trolley problem, you said it depends on the people. Not,
Yeah, but what?
well,
Wait. I want to be clear. What governs the deduction is the moral principle. That's why it's relevant. Like the general principle is what governs it. In the process of deduction,
it
you won't
doesn't
be
do
just.
anything. Because
What?
a normal person, no, it doesn't do anything because particularists still inquire about the facts of the case and then just send that datum over to their normative calculus. That's what they
Wait,
do.
so I want to be
That's why
clear
there
then.
are
So if
defeated
you're a
reasons.
particularist, how do you know what to do in a case?
Because I have a normative theory.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
And the meta epistemological question about I take a virtue ethicist view of epistemology with respect to how I should know what facts count are more
So when you
relevant
say you have a
with respect
normative
to their
theory,
counting in favor
what
relation.
purpose is the normative theory playing there? I want to be clear.
To calculate defeated versus defeated and defeasible versus defeated and defeasible versus counter prevailing reasons. That's the whole point. That's what the meta ethical theory on reasons. But the meta ethical theory on reasons is to say what things even count in favor of being addressed by our normative theory. And you saying generalism isn't actually informing anything about what should count in favor. Nothing at all.
It is informing something. I just told you what it's informing.
It's not informing anything because I still have to inquire about the facts.
Okay, bro.
And
what?
Let's just
because you still have to inquire
hypothesis.
about the facts. That means it's not informing you of anything. That's just false. That's not true.
It means
There's
it's
no
not
reason to accept
codified.
it. That means it's not what?
It means it's not what it means to be codified is that there are some situations that I can just get away with saying it's generally wrong without looking at the facts of the matter. But you signed off.
There are principles that yes, there are things that yes, of course. There are cases where you can do that.
Oh,
like I can simply say, wait, hold on. I can simply say, regardless of the reason that you're raping kids for fun, or regardless of why you're raping kids for fun, it's unjustified to rape kids for fun. There you go, Kayj.
Wait. So just so I'm clear, how are you making that inference if you don't have the things that they're owed?
Wait. If I don't have the things that they're owed, it's a different principle. There are multiple principles.
Okay, so this isn't one of the principles. What's the other principle?
Wait, actually, we could use justice. That's fine. So what do you mean? How am I calculating it if it's not the thing that they're owed? What does that mean?
You're not making an inference. What's the inference? If what, then what? You don't have the first antecedent. You don't have the facts.
Yeah,
you don't have what they're owed.
If it's the case you're raping kids for fun, you're doing something unjustified.
How do you know that they're doing something unjustified if you don't know what they're owed?
I know they're doing something unjustified because
what if the people being raped are all child rapists themselves?
I know they're doing something unjustified because they're raping kids for fun.
Yeah, but what if the people who are being raped are already rapists? What if they're serial arsonists? What if they're Schmittler himself? You can stipulate all of these facts.
Yeah,
and the reason
great,
that they
fantastic, and none of them are owed being raped. So it's still the case. What are you talking? They're doing something unjustified because they're raping kids for fun.
I'm sorry.
I don't care
you think
if they're
that the average person, if I said,
I don't care if the average person said,
You think that? Well, that's just true. I think the folk would seriously disagree with you if I
You
were to
think
say
that
that
people
I
think
raped
Jeffrey
Jeffrey.
Epstein deserves to get raped? You actually think that if I went up
Yeah,
to a
I think a
woman right
lot
now,
of people would sign
actually,
off on
let's
that.
use a
Yeah,
rational individual instead. If I went up to a man right now and I was like, "Do you think Jeffrey Epstein deserves to be raped?" You think they would say yes, other than you?
I think that people would say that. Yeah, they might think that the situation may be justified if Requise, who's 6'6" in prison, raped him before he unalived himself. Yeah, I think people would say that. I don't think that's absurd at all.
Wait,
In fact, I think
You
many
think so?
people
You
say
think
this
it's not
today
absurd? I want to be clear.
for
First
much
off, it's
less
absurd to
trivially
think that
people.
Jeffrey Epstein is dead. That's number one. But number two, you think it's absurd to say Jeffrey Epstein, despite all he did, doesn't deserve to be raped?
No, I think it's absurd to say that if that people would sign off that Jeffrey Epstein being raped, that they'd have the same outrage as I don't know, some random person or woman off the street
No,
getting raped. I think
no.
that's
Wait.
absurd. Yeah,
Your outrage has nothing to do with whether or not something is just. I'm not saying people would be outraged. I don't think people would be outraged at all. Some people would probably celebrate. They'd still say
that's
it's
just
not
to say
just.
that
They
people
would still
think.
say
That's
they
just
would
to
still say
say
he
that
doesn't
people think
deserve it.
No, they think that he got what he was owed. That's why they're not outraged. That's
Wait,
what explains it.
no. You cannot be outraged even if you do think someone got something, or sorry, didn't get what they're owed. Like, I don't
I'm
think
sorry, you're saying that I
like
can.
a good example is I don't think that what? Yeah, I don't think that my little sister is owed ice cream. Or actually, I could say that I think my little sister is owed ice cream, right? Like, let's say my mom promised my little sister ice cream if she won a softball
Wait, but
game or
that's just a
whatever.
trivial level of justice. I'm talking about
Well, no shit,
actual
it's
morally
trivial.
relevant types of justice. Yeah, but I'm talking about moral
Yeah,
justice. I'm not talking about this weird,
let's just do this. Yeah,
like your sister
let's just
didn't
do
get
this. Let's
her
say
like F on her paper.
yeah, well, no, we could do something different. Okay, let's say someone was falsely accused of a crime, but it just so turns out that this person was like, I don't know, they were a wicked misogynist. You know, they just really hated women. They was really mad at women all the time. And they like robbed or they were accused of jaywalking, and they got 60 days in jail for that, or whatever the fuck, 30 or 60 days.
Yeah, and this is
Doesn't really
not a
matter.
moral issue.
And I found out that they were what? Wait, no, they're not getting what they're owed.
This is not a. Yeah,
And
that's why
I wouldn't give
this
a
is
shit.
again. This is why your general moral principle is applying to things that aren't moral. That's the problem.
What? It is. It is a moral failure. It is a moral failing to convict someone and put them in prison for something they didn't do.
I'm sorry, you think, no, we're talking about whether or not somebody would be outraged at the fact that somebody's being convicted with a moral respect, not the fact that they're convicted being a moral thing. The fact that they were convicted would be moral in such a way that we're talking about things like rape or something like rights violations or something like that. Not something trivially like fucking jaywalking. Obviously, if somebody got falsely imprisoned for jaywalking, people would be like, wow, they're outraged in a different sense a different sense of what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about outrage in a wow, you know, the system's stupid. I'm talking about outrage in such a way that people wouldn't be so outraged or so emotionally reactive because they think a moral wrongdoing happened because some girl got raped off of campus. But they wouldn't be nearly as outraged if Jeffrey Epstein got raped in prison. If you walked up to 100 people and said,
of course they
this
would. I
college
agree
girl
they
got
wouldn't be as. I agree they wouldn't be as outraged.
yeah, and
I
the
don't
fact
care.
that
I'm not
explains
talking about
that is
how
because there
outraged
wasn't
they
that
are. I
moral
agree they wouldn't be
wrongdoing.
as outraged.
Right, but that because I might lose service here because I'm about to cross the border. But that is just to say that the facts of the situation greatly inform people's reactions and their moral calculus. On your view,
Wait, no.
generally,
Wait, no. Wait, actually, I can grant that. Okay, so wait.
Wait,
The
you don't want to
particulars of
grant
a
that.
situation. No, I just said I can grant that. That's why I don't care. The laymen
you
get
can't. It just makes
informed
your
by
view even
irrelevant
worse.
details. No, wait. Laymen inform their moral calculus using irrelevant details. Okay, fantastic. I agree.
The point of a moral view is to do two things. One, it's to explain how we, meaning academics and the folk, use moral language. And two, it's supposed to inform the person on what they should do. Your view does neither without appealing to my view.
My view informs the person on what they should do. I'm not trying to account for how people use language. I don't care.
No, because if we just take your
We can
principles in
say
a
that the
vacuum and then
semantic
try to
PC
apply them.
it's in development. We'll say that.
Well, look, if we just take your general principles and apply them, you immediately start analyzing the facts of the specific case.
No shit.
But
duh.
if your view were true, if your view were true, it should be correct and accurate in a lot of its general assessments, but they're not. Your view is not
Wait, no,
doing that.
my view is correct in all of its general assessments. There's not a single general assessment where it's not correct.
I just gave you. We just talked about one.
Wait, no,
You
we
just
didn't.
said that you can get away with
no,
saying
you didn't give
generally
an example.
people are.
Wait, no, you didn't give an example of how it's not correct. You just said your view doesn't account for the fact that people aren't equally outraged. I don't care. It's not what I'm
It fails to
accounting for.
capture
I'm
how
not
the folk.
accounting for people's
It fails
outrage.
to. It fails to capture how we use moral language. Number one, and two,
Wait,
it doesn't
first off,
generate any
no, it
predictive
doesn't.
moral.
That's number one. No, it doesn't. It doesn't fail to capture how we use moral language because I'm
We
willing to
just
bet.
agree. You just
Wait,
conceded to that.
no.
Like
I
10
didn't.
seconds ago,
I
you said
conceded.
I'm going to
I didn't
concede to
concede
this.
to that. I was talking about outrage. I actually never said that I don't think people would say it's just. I think everyone,
Outrage
if you were
is
to
the
ask,
moral
I think
language.
everyone, if you were to ask, is it justified for Jeffrey Epstein to get raped, would say no. So I think it does account for how people use moral language. I just said I don't care
No,
about
I'm
it.
not saying is it. Whoa. That's not. I'm not saying is it justified that Jeffrey Epstein got raped. I'm saying all I need to prove my point is that the fact that it's Jeffrey Epstein changes the moral decision, changes
Wait,
the
no.
moral weight.
It doesn't.
On
It doesn't
your
change
view,
the moral. That's false. It doesn't change the moral decision. You could say it changes the outrage.
no, I didn't say
Okay.
decision. I said change the moral weight.
No, it doesn't change the moral
All that's
weight
needed because
either.
if you stipulate
I don't
enough
grant
facts,
that either. I don't
I'm
grant
about
that
to
it
cross the
changes the
border.
moral weight either. I think the only thing
Wait,
it
you don't.
changes
You
is
think?
people's
Wait.
outrage.
Just so I'm clear. Before I cross the. Hold on. Before I cross the border, you think that the moral claim that Jeffrey Epstein was raped in prison and little Susie on campus got raped, do you think those have the same moral weight?
Yes,
That's
of
right up
course.
to you. I have nothing else to say about
Wait,
that.
I have
You
a
think?
quick
Wait,
question.
wait.
Hold on.
I want to be clear.
Let me just ask one more
No,
question.
no.
Because he's already disconnected.
I just want to be clear. You think it's worse
Yeah.
for a little? Well, actually, is it a child or is it like an adult? Because if it's a child, then I agree with you. I think children generally being raped is worse than adults being raped.
Niall, you got to echo.
Okay, so I just got
Wait,
one.
Niall, you got to echo.
You have a crazy idea. So now, Kayj, is it a little girl? Because you said little Susie, or is it an adult woman?
Fixed now?
Yeah, your echo is better.
No.
Okay, so I just had one question, like about the
Have a nice night.
hypothetical about moral weight.
Oh wait, Kayj, are you there?
So if it
I guess not.
So if it was the case, right, that two people committed a crime, let's say the crime's as heinous as Jeffrey Epstein versus, like, I don't know, some petty shoplifting crime, okay? And it was to be that they were both going to be sentenced to prison, but you knew that a consequence of them going to prison, right? You weren't sentencing them to this, but that they would be subject to rape when they're in prison. I feel like a jury might decide, hey, we're not going to sentence the shoplifter to prison because we don't think that he should get raped as a consequence of him going to prison because his crime wasn't as bad as the other guy. Who, like, even if he does get raped in prison, like, we don't really care.
I love that thought experiment. It has nothing to do with what I said, but I love it.
I think it does because it changes the moral weight, right? They're both
No, it
illegal
doesn't.
things.
People's outrage has nothing to do with the moral weight of an action.
I
It
think
is
it
just
does
as
because
bad.
equal between a
It
child
is just
and
as
Epstein.
bad for someone to rape Jeffrey Epstein as it is to rape a random woman. Those actions are equally bad. Now, how much people care about those actions is irrelevant to how bad they are. In the same way, we could say something like, look, people wouldn't care as much if a black man in the 1800s was beaten to death as opposed to a white woman. People would care significantly less. A great example of this is Emmett Till. People didn't care at all. It doesn't mean that beating Emmett Till to death had any less moral weight than beating... Relax, buddy, relax.
Okay, I'm relaxed.
It doesn't mean that Emmett Till being beat...
Nobody's saying that the caring is what it is.
Relax. Wait, no. So the reductio... Well, the thing you think was a reductio you gave. You think it's a reductio to say it's as bad to rape Jeffrey Epstein as it is to rape some random adult woman?
Yeah, but it's not
That's
as
a question.
bad because
Wait, you think it's not as bad?
it's as bad because people.
You're cutting out a lot. But no, yeah, how much people care about it is obviously not evidence of the moral weight of the action. Because people didn't care about black people getting raped and beat up all the time. I don't know. I have no idea how you thought that was. Actually, let me scroll up and see what dumbasses.
That's just a straw man of my view.
I saw one stupid person.
That's just a straw man of my view. That's not what I'm saying at all.
You're probably stupid. beep is also stupid.
He's talking about moral weight,
And
though.
that's
He's not
it.
talking about what's actually bad or good.
That's just a straw man of my view.
Wait, when you say moral weight, what do you mean? Because I'm talking about how bad an action is. That's what I understand moral
But the
weight.
moral weight, right? That's literally like implies like
That's
probably
not a
or something
question.
that's weighing
Look,
on
man,
it.
Nil, is
Well,
it
then
is
maybe
it
you need to
Nihil?
clarify with each other
Look,
what you mean
Nihil,
by moral
I
weight.
love you, buddy. Your profile picture is cool, but that was a question for Kayj. I don't want it to be confused.
All right, fine, go for it, man.
So, like, when you say moral weight, Kayj, what exactly do you mean? Because I'm just taking that to be how bad an action is. And you can answer whenever you're done crossing the border or whatever it is you're doing.
Well, do any Lotel want to discuss that argument?
Bro, talking about reductio to say it's just as bad to rape Epstein as a random.
Quizman, are you a Christian? Christian, wait, yeah, Quizman, are you a Christian?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have an argument against the existence of God. You want to engage, Lotel?
No, not particularly.
It's a dodge. That's a wise dodge, Lotel.
True, it is a dodge. I grant that. I'm sprinting away. Kayj,
I think my
back?
Wi-Fi is fixed. I crossed the border, so.
Nah, you good, bro.
By moral weight, I just mean the habit.
You're cutting out a lot.
I
so
don't mean
staticky.
the weight in which somebody deems it as bad or good.
Oh, okay. Wait, okay. So when you say moral weight, you cut out. Can you repeat that?
Oh my God, why?
Yeah, you cut out a little bit.
I don't mean whether or not an action is bad, right? An action, obviously, it'd be bad either way.
That you cut out. You cut out again, bro.
Right? Debate.
You got to fix your Wi-Fi, gang. While you're doing that, I actually will engage with this FLO person. So what's your argument, FLO? Until Kayj is back. When he's back,
Can we make the argument now? Let's see if we can track.
When he's back, though, I'm just gonna concede and give you the W. So when he's back, I concede. Just letting you know. But continue.
First, do you accept modest points in your profile?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, promise one. If the
Did you just call me a boy?
What? Why are you interrupting? I'm getting the argument.
I swear you just said goy. Did he? Bro, am I bugging? I swear.
No, I didn't say that. I said good.
Sorry, FLO. Kayj is back. All right, Kayj is back.
It's a cesspool of inbred dumb fucks up here. I have no idea how the fuck I got here.
Why did? Anyway, I have the argument. You're gonna interrupt more? You're running away?
Dude, I don't know what's going on.
Nah, Kayj is back, so I concede, FLO. You win. All right, Kayj.
Exactly.
What is what do you say moral weight? What do you mean?
And he's gone.
Oh, for fuck's sake, bro. Shitty ass Wi-Fi. I just want to point out while everyone is here to all 36 people in chat, Christian men mogged the fuck out of every other group of people in existence. The evidence of that is me. I don't know if there are any other Christians on panel, but I'm sure if there are other Christians on panel, they're moggers, and they make you look incredibly ugly.
So, I mean, he left.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a Christian and I'm sub 5. I'm ugly. No girls want me. This isn't expected.
Okay, so Kaysen is LARPing, right? Kaysen is a true LARP cell. Kaysen is actually at least a 7.5 on the PSL scale. He mogs. He has perfect canthal tilt, perfect mid-face ratio. His lower third is ideal. I mean,
my zygotes are underdeveloped.
No, he's a true LARP cell.
Wait, is FLO gonna give the argument?
Oh yeah, FLO. Since Kayj is gone, you can give the argument now. I'll engage.
Argument again, you Loto? You keep running away. You get reduced to trolling every time because you already know that you're about to get destroyed in the rhetorical arena.
Half of that was unintelligible, but yes, I want the argument.
Bro, you sound like Power of the Ori.
Okay, promise one. If the SSB CCFF is after
dude, what is? Am I like? Bro, you sound like you're 5. Can you please enunciate your words better? I need you to enunciate better, bro. I can't understand.
Sorry, Lotte, what promise?
And I don't know which. I haven't heard any of the premises. I need you to enunciate better.
Who was I talking to? Loto.
I don't know who you were talking to. Probably me, I'd assume. But I need you to like enunciate. I couldn't understand you.
Yeah, so I'll try again because Loto can only track on modus ponens. So if the SSBCCFF is apt to external complexity, then the MNSA obtains and wonderful modus ponens. Go ahead.
Okay, so like I'm gonna tell you what I can you type it in chat actually? That'll make it easy. Just type it
You
in
can't
chat.
even try it verbally. Oh hell no.
I really can't. I actually can't. Like what that sounded like to me was if it's a pussy, but I mean if you type it in chat,
I'll
that'd be
put the
appreciated.
conditional and I'll just use like the law of detachment in the poor theoretic sense.
Is it just me or does he talk with a lisp? That might just be me.
Yeah.
But no, can you type it in chat though? Genuinely, I mean, I do want to hear what you have to say. But I mean, other people are saying that like your speech is unintelligible. I can't lie. A lot of people, I can't understand it. So like, just type it in chat if you don't mind. Wildflower couldn't understand you either. She said something low tier.
Yeah, that's the conditional. Just use our
something
modus ponens.
preconditioned analytical sense. Yeah, type shit. But I just type it in chat, bro. Did you type it in chat? Hold on, let me scroll up. Oh, okay, there
You
we
can't
go.
even
Right.
check cat.
There we go. Okay. If that's okay, great, fantastic. All right. So, what is the first question? Is what is the SSBCCFF? What's that?
Are you not familiar with it in like Offbeck's book?
No.
Your choice, Lotel, that's fine. Yeah, it's the stable Stokevsky big conjunction of continued fixed facts, Lotel.
Okay, great. I'm gonna go look up what that is real quick. Hold on.
Take your time, Lotel.
Yeah, Flo, what do you think of the MRI KCF argument for atheism?
What is that thing again? The SS? Just, I have to make sure I'm typing it right. What is that again? Can you just type that out in chat? Whatever the
Yeah, it's already in the chat. I already typed it.
CFF is. Oh, you typed that out too? Okay, let's see. No, you didn't type that out. Can you type out what the acronym SS? Hold on, let me scroll. SSBCCFF stands for. Just type that out in chat. Also, while you're at it, just do that for the MNSA. Just do that too. Oh, Nyclot is here. What's up, Nyclot? If there are any femboys in chat, run away. Nyclot's coming for you, bro. Nyclot's coming for you.
To the argument?
Ah, there we go. All right, cool. Can you do the one that starts with an M too?
I did both, Lotel.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see. I only see one. Oh, there we go. All right. More endoscopy. Okay, great. Fantastic. Do, 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 do.
Yeah, to everyone in here, just like live and shit, bro.
Well, like my interlocutor is just already stun locked, so if anyone else wants to engage, I'll 2v1.
Is he still gone?
Now I'm back. I kind of just read a little bit about. Are you just saying that the world is made up of facts that could be different? Blah 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 blah. Humans are agents, some shit like that. That's about what I picked up from what I read.
Did you read Offbeck's book?
No, I read a summary on ChatGPT.
So you're just a ChatGPT warrior?
Yes.
Yeah, well, no, that's not the summary. No, that's not the argument.
Can you give me the summary? Pretty pleased with the cherry on top.
So pretty much you'll have like some propositional syntax calculus, which is like basically it's like some propositional variable syntax. And it's like for every Moria node on the nexus, you'll have some causal identification algorithmic functions such that for every can I speak? You're like interrupting, you're like freaking out. Anyway, just relax that. Yeah, so as I was saying, right, you'll have like these causal identification algorithmic nexuses, which are always going to be plugged in for every nexus output and input, like a function. And it's going to be an injective kind of function for a nexus calculus. And the Moria nodes for every sorry about that cough. Yeah, so like for every Moria node page.
I said, nah, you're good, G. You said sorry about the cough. You're good, G. Continue.
Yo, Merso, what's going on with you?
I don't know, bro. At this point,
I was getting a phone call. I don't know what that's about. Are you calling the argument now, or do you have like any premise that's false? Or go ahead.
No, you didn't finish your summary. Just if you wouldn't mind finishing that real quick.
Yeah, like what's uncool with the argument?
I didn't hear that. What did you say?
What's uncool with the argument? Like what premise do you not understand?
What's uncool with the argument? I don't think there's anything uncool about it. You said what?
What's uncool with the argument?
I love this guy, bro. I love this guy. Nah, the argument's clear. I accept the argument. I think it's sound. I'm a big fan, actually.
Well, is anybody next, or is that all?
Actually, if it would be okay with you, I think I would be interested in hearing the argument maybe one more time.
You been in A-boys making fun of my voice?
I'm sorry, it's pretty weird for you to think that I'm trying to make fun of your voice.
What's your question? Wait, do you think questions are propositional?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I was presupposing something with a question.
I'm sorry, can you tell me what a presupposition is?
Presupposition is like, well, you have some like transcendental ontology, and for every
Oh, yes, that makes perfect sense.
Hello, Princess. Hey, Flo, I have a question, though, genuinely. Real question. It's very important, so I need you to listen up. Would you like to be my e-kitten? Fucking scumbag left the panel. What a fucking scumbag, bro.
What's going on?
this is the most insane panel.
Yo, bro, like what the fuck is
Was that real?